Hi, we're Group Echo, and we're going to teach you how to read a forest plot. Some of the objectives are: what is a forest plot, when is a forest plot used, how do you read and interpret a forest plot, and then the assessment of learning. This is what a general forest plot looks like, and another name for the forest plot is the blobogram. A forest plot displays statistical information from multiple relevant studies related to the same topic or question. It's essentially a one-stop shop to compare the results of multiple studies rather than reviewing each one individually. It's used to graphically display results for meta-analysis studies. Now we're going to take a closer look at the components of the forest plot. The line of no effect, which is the vertical line shown by the arrow in red, is placed at the value when there's no difference between the two interventions. For a relative risk ratio, the line's at 1. For an absolute risk ratio, or standard mean difference, the line would be at 0. The horizontal lines represent each study. The diamond at the bottom, represented by the blue arrow, is the weighted average for all studies. Information about each study is displayed to the right and left and can vary amongst forest plots depending on what the studies are looking at.
The longer the horizontal line, the longer the confidence interval, which means the less reliable the results are. If the horizontal line crosses the vertical line, it indicates that the studies were in agreement. If it does not cross the vertical line, that means that there were statistically significant differences between the studies. The larger the box on each line indicates a larger sample size. If the diamond at the bottom of the graph touches the vertical line, then the overall results were not statistically significant. If the diamond is more to the right, then there are more episodes of outcome for the treatment group. And if it's to the left, then there were more outcomes against the treatment group.
This is a hypothetical forest plot using an example of if the use of fluoride mouthwash reduces the risk of caries. The further away the X is from the line of no effect, the larger the effect. The larger the X, the larger the sample size. To the left, fluoride mouthwash had less of an effect on caries, and to the right, fluoride mouthwash was more effective in reducing caries. The X representing study 3 is on the line of no effect, which means it is not a statistically significant study. Those who used the mouthwash with fluoride every day had a better outcome, which in this scenario was reduced caries. The diamond tells us the results are statistically significant since it's not touching the line of no effect. However, the left side of the diamond is close to the line, which tells us the size of the effect on using fluoride mouthwash could be small. This means the decision makers need to decide if these findings justify using resources for an intervention, such as using fluoride mouthwash.
There are advantages and disadvantages to a forest plot. Some advantages are that you are able to review and compare multiple sources at once. The forest plot also displays the heterogeneity and pooled results of the studies. Heterogeneity are differences in results, methodology, or populations used in the studies. The pooled result is the overall combined result of pooling multiple studies. The forest plot also has more reliable results because it comes from multiple studies. Some disadvantages are that it does not display the publication bias or funnel plot. Publication bias is when you want to include all relevant studies and it's not always possible. Some studies get left out for various reasons, whether it be language or non-significant results, etc. The forest plot also may not show other relevant details specific to the individual studies. Although it displays a lot of important information regarding the study, there are some specific things that it does not show. For example, like the methods of a study, which could be valuable information and affects the results that the study achieved. Another disadvantage is that the value of the statistical significance can be unclear. In summary, the forest plot represents multiple results from multiple studies on the same topic. By comparing results from different studies, it is easier to infer generalized concepts or conclusions on that subject. The symbols and lines represent key information from the studies, including what the specific study is, the sample size, statistical significance, weighted average, and overall effect of the studies, so viewers can feel confident about the conclusions that they make. Thank you for watching our video on how to interpret a forest plot.